The best way I know how to find customers or clients is to do what we call have sticky conversations. A sticky conversation is a normal, natural human conversation with potential clients. Quite important, I feel, to unniche yourself. Many of you have heard me say this. Who's been told that in order to be a coach, you need to pick a niche, then create a product, and then create marketing around that? Who's been told that? Quite a few of you. So my issue with that is that it's often premature. It's like trying to create a shop window before you've got a shop. So very important, I feel, is the strategy of actually holding back on perfecting a product, holding back on choosing a niche, and instead doing something really common sense, but amazingly not often practiced, and something that's very natural and much easier than trying to build websites and products in a vacuum. And that is to have very natural, human, non-cheesy conversations where you actually use your coaching skills to draw out people's most specific, we call them sticky, their most specific, significant, searched for areas of stress, struggle, and stuckness and suffering. All the S's for you to remember. And with a very clear idea of that in their words, right? Not in our own words. A lot of coaches make the mistake of using language that's very generic and broad, like transformation and helping people reach their potential. And in terms of marketing, we need to be much more simple. I always say to my coaches, pretend you're listening to your potential clients, talking to each other over a cup of coffee or on WhatsApp. What is the exact language they're using? So for example, a manager might be saying, I'm trying to get my team to work better together. They're not going to say, I'm trying to build team cohesion and align the corporate values, even though that language is potentially helpful in showing credibility that you understand a corporate market, for example. It's actually really important to get your clients' specific, natural, human words. And then the next thing, which I emphasize again and again, especially in our business building courses, is to custom build. That is, you've got to have the kind of toolbox and the kind of skill set that you can adapt to custom build. And what do you want to custom build? I always feel it's helpful to custom build at least 3 coaching options for the client in front of you. And this is not done in a silly way. This is not done with brochures or PowerPoint presentations. This is done in a conversation. So for example, you're chatting to someone and they tell you that they've got a fair bit of stress right now because they're trying to write a book and they just can't get through writer's block. And you're thinking to yourself, gee, out of all the coaching processes I know and out of the coaching skills that I know, I could probably really help them to do a little bit of a deep dive into what the inner obstacles could be. I might be able to help them to create plans and to get more clear around focus. I could be their accountability partner. So these are the kinds of thoughts you're having, and you're looking in your skill set and your toolbox, and then you're chatting to them and you're custom building. And the next thing you're doing is co-creating. So you co-create the solution with your clients. So you're saying to your client things like, what have you tried before that hasn't worked? If you had an ideal accountability partner going on, what could that look like? What works for you? What doesn't work for you? And you're listening and you're using your coaching skills to literally co-create a solution for the person in front of you. And then you're presenting that solution, as you know, in a very gentle, exploratory way. You know, something that comes to mind, I've got these 2 or 3 processes that really work around da-da-da-da. We could put together like 2 or 3 sessions for you where we first look at this and that. How does that sound? And then your potential client says, well, actually, that sounds pretty good, but I'm really busy right now. It would have to be next month. Or actually, that sounds so amazing. Can we roll it out for my team? And it's that type of discussion that incubates the most incredible coaching products, the most incredible win-win situations, where not only do you deliver exactly what your client is looking for, but you start discovering the products. Now, at some later stage, when you've got a couple of yeses that are similar, so let's say you've had a whole bunch of these conversations and there's patterns that show up. They're always the same kinds of clients. They're always the same kinds of problems, and you keep co-creating very similar products. That's when you build your shop window. That's when you start to put something together in terms of more clear niche marketing, digital marketing. That's when you're ready to scale. But a lot of folks make the problem of scaling too quickly, building shop windows too quickly, looking amongst the pockets of groups that are out there, putting yourself in front of them, being a resource, being service focused, having natural conversations. Gavin, all of our top master coaches that I've stayed in touch with, that I've surveyed to try and find out what are they doing right. Do you know that not a single one of them has any kind of digital marketing? And they all serve multiple niches, and they all do exactly this. They just have conversations, right, with people. But of course, you need the flexible skills and the flexible toolbox in order to do that.